So I wasn't gonna do a show, but for the record, can I? Let's see. I'm gonna move this down here. A couple of these just made me laugh because CSL could do this to me. Like, yeah, I know you want a day off, but this is kind of fucked up. And when he puts a clip in, this is as thumbnails go. This poor, like, oh, come on. Greg Kelly, there's nothing gay about baseball. Grown men wearing knee socks and knickers, as it were, would beg to differ in some cases, considering you'd be quite the dandy in French aristocracy at certain points in history by wearing that very, very same outfit, I would like to say. But there's nothing gay about there's nothing not gay about baseball. That's the thumbnail they chose. Also, interestingly enough, this one popped up. MSM and politicians hiding Hunter bombshells. Robert Davi. Now, Robert Davi is the director of the Hunter Biden movie. Remember we did that? And that's the only, like, recently anyways, the only, like, active personal copyright strike somebody did on my channel. They went after me for going through the whole Hunter Biden movie. Now, I believe it falls under fair use because I broke the fucking thing down. And it's not just a movie. It's a narrative documentary style thing. They're telling an alleged story. And so having someone there, like myself, watching this piece of shit and going, by the way, this whole part is made up. This whole part is from a artificial dialogue that Jim Jordan says happened. And this little part right here is from an email, so nobody actually ever said it. And you can't even tell me if the email's fucking real, right? I went through that whole thing. I think that's reasonable. But apparently not. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Okay, and the other one is, it's always got to end with something stupid. This, it looks like Glenn's about to swear. It looks like he's about to go fucking hell. I mean, with his, silly goatee and his toddler clothing, but still, he looks like he's about to F-bomb in only the way that Glenn Beck can. Poorly and while jacked up on sugar and Sonic. Okay, so we'll jump into these and just see what the hell they are. It's a holiday. We don't have to do all of them, but I feel like, we'll do a little Whitman sampler today. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, brings us There's Nothing Gay About Baseball. Take it away, Greg. There's nothing gay about baseball. Social media is ruining society, says the Chiron, as a woman in shorts is dancing.
Well, it looks pretty hideous and talent-free, but...
You're showing it, fuckhead. It has to be, I gotta say, that has to be one of my favorite things that and it's seemingly largely the right that does this on the news, which is play a clip from TikTok or some shit, and that's obviously sexual, and its appeal is sexual, and they go, well, that's horrible. No one should even be allowed to see that. Like, you just played it. Talk about it. You have use your big boy words, Greg.
If you take that video, stick it in an app on your phone, billions of people are going to watch it and rewatch it and share it and watch other depraved things.
Other depraved things? She's dancing, you dick. Depraved things like your show?
Just like it. Look at the numbers. The stats are mind-boggling. Now, this is
average screen time, 11 to 14, 9 hours a day, just in this woman's videos. Just, I don't know how she does it. She's like the new Pied Piper of ass.
This is for teens, but I think it applies for adults. I mean, look at
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, basically, teens and adults have the same viewing habits. Yeah.
All the our lives are being spent on the phone, more time on the phone than actually.
Is it? I got news for you. I literally cannot remember the last time I even saw a video like that on my phone in general. So keep it in your pants, Greg. Look, what you watch on the bus is nobody's fucking business except the two people sitting in the chair behind you that are grossed out.
Living life. So the Surgeon General put out a report. It's just a few pages long, and it summarizes a pretty serious problem, and it's not going to help one damn bit. It's not. This is going to take a lot more.
Okay, so this is how Greg reacts to the Biden administration and the government as a whole agreeing with the generalized point about young people being on their phones too much or watching content that's inappropriate. It's not going to help. Just, it's bad, and we all have to do something. And they're trying to do something, but it's not going to do anything. Jesus, shut the fuck up.
More than that guy putting out a position paper. This reminds me.
You do realize that's not all they do. That's all the Trump administration did was put out a position paper and then forget they even talked about it.
Of the little label on the cigarette box. Remember that?
Yes, and smoking has gone down.
This really stop anybody from smoking?
No, but it stopped people being able to sue everyone from that point forward. It made people aware that they were responsible at that point going forward for, the government, for example, not warning them. Now, tobacco companies have no reason to necessarily warn them because they don't. Once you're dead, they'll find a new younger smoker. They don't give a shit. But the government has a responsibility to label these things. And at some point, somebody was going to become aware that the government knew about it and they didn't label it. So by making them put that label on, you guarantee that it didn't cost taxpayers fucking $7 billion. You dimwit.
I don't think so. It was there since the 1970s, right? It causes this, that, and the other thing. That's not.
It does, yeah, this, which is lung cancer, that, which is heart disease, and the other thing apparently is emphysema and might complicate pregnancy, although he didn't care about this other thing. It was just the one other thing, apparently.
What got people to stop smoking? It took a lot of things. They banned it on airplanes. They banned it in restaurants.
Yes, government regulation. Both federally and locally. Federally would be airplanes because that's who governs that, and then every city started doing it. And yes, government action, the will of the people through their representatives created regulations that helped slow, if not stop, the majority of the use of smoking in the country.
It took a lot of leaders. Mike Bloomberg was one of them. Joe Biden could be saying and doing so many things if he were a true leader.
Like smoking. He could be smoking right now. Why isn't he smoking? But instead, he's standing in hell, telling jokes to Satan.
But he's not. And this is pretty much all he knows how to do.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
There's a Republican.
Tell the truth. That's all he knows how to do. Interesting. It's curious in a politician.
The party is the MAGA Republicans. Our MAGA Republicans in Congress are threatening.
By the way, I would like to take credit for the fact that he very well may have accidentally slipped and said maggot Republicans just then. If you'll listen to that again, he says MAGA pretty clearly. But in the third one, I would like to say, hi, White House. Hi, whoever it is that sits and watches my show and kind of goes, did you see the thing of the shit that I do? You're hi. Hello. Hi there. Yeah, you. I will feel personally responsible for you whispering House Sparks calls them maggots, and he started that in his ear.
Republican Party is the MAGA Republicans. Our MAGA Republicans in Congress.
See, I think that was an accidental maggot. I'm going to take credit for it.
Are threatening to do all this progress.
Look, I don't want to hear from the MAGA Republicans.
Right? We've heard that a million times. Have you ever heard him talk about anything like, if you were president, think about what you could talk about?
Yeah, like the CHIPS Act and the infrastructure bill and the actual bridges that they're building where they showed up and they actually had fucking old-fashioned ribbon cutting kind of things for the stuff like that. You mean that? You mean You mean all the like, Ukraine funding and that kind of stuff, which I'm absolutely for, those kind of things. Yeah. He talked about a lot of that shit, and he did.
You know, there's more to that job than just filling out executive orders and blame.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, tell that to Trump, Mr. Like, I made a stinky on people.
In Congress, you can talk about things.
He can talk about things. He does all the time. Maybe it's just that you fixate and you're a dum-dum.
Joe says he's a person of faith, but all he seems to do is brag about how well he knows the Pope.
I don't know why that struck me so funny. That's a pretty Catholic thing to do.
Pope Francis has become I don't want to exaggerate it, he's become someone who's provided great solace for my family when my son died. When I won, he called me. He's just a fine, decent, honorable man.
Yeah, cut out all the other stuff and just go straight to someone asking him about the Pope and then going, fuck, Pope. We always hear about the fucking Pope. I mean, yeah, we get it. The Pope wrote you letters and you fell in love and you were calling him Little Rocket Man. And then now you're best. Oh, wait, fucking wrong guy. Sorry.
And we keep in touch. I had the honor of meeting Pope Francis in the Vatican and marking the progress.
I just cut out everything he says in multiple days and jump straight to fucking hell. All he does, popity fucking popity pope.
And the only openly Catholic president was able to openly befriend the second Catholic, but the only one able to befriend the Pope.
He's bragging about religion, not.
No, he's not. He's bragging as a religious Catholic about being able to talk to the fucking Pope on the regular, which is a big thing to Catholics. I don't know if you know that, stupid. Fuck. P.S. By the way, nothing is stopping Greg Kelly from showing us pictures from him at church with the church he goes to and the churchiness that he churches in all the time when he's getting his churching on.
Talking about his relationship with God or Jesus or anything. Unfortunately, I think Joe is a lost soul. So
okay, so what you're saying is anybody who doesn't talk about their direct relationship with Jesus is a lost soul. I do not recall Greg Kelly ever talking about his relationship with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So clearly, Greg's a lost soul. We know this. I don't know why we even had to stop.
I guess he can't do it. Otherwise, he'd be a hypocrite. I hope he gets that straightened out. But no.
I don't know. I don't know what he means. He's a silly person.
Number one, our leader, you would think, would have this kind of wisdom to impart. Joe does have life experience. His son, Hunter, is an addict.
Is a guy who smokes in a bathtub. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. The elusive Hunter smoking in the bathtub pic. I was wondering when we would get to see that again. And here's the thing. You know, as crackheads go, I don't know very many crackheads. Especially the criminal mastermind kind that would cover up their nipples in a picture of them smoking in the bathtub. I'm just saying, there's a certain amount of modesty there that I'm quite frankly shocked by.
And Joe knows firsthand how.
What is there to be proud of, Joe? Well, tell you what, his son's an addict. I guess I was going to say former addict, but some folks believe you're always once an addict, always an addict. His son, as an addict, is not dead. He lost one son to brain cancer, and his other son, who was an addict, has apparently been on the wagon for quite some time now, and is not in danger of dying of a drug overdose anytime soon. So that's most families, and I don't know if Greg has one, and if he has one, if they would admit to him being there. But most of them would say that that's something to be proud of.
How horrible this stuff can be, right? Joe doesn't drink and he's never smoked, he tells us. I believe him. But Joe's not leading a conversation about this stuff, is he? Instead, it's this.
And I'm here with my sister Valerie and my youngest son Hunter Biden. Stand up, guys. I'm proud of you. My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
Right.
Another brag, another boast.
Why is that that's not a boast? Saying I'm proud, like, I'm proud to say that I blah, blah, blah. He's proud of his son for what? Okay. I think this is just a simple episode of Greg doesn't know what words mean. Greg has no idea.
What about trying to help people? I mean,
oh my gosh, Templeton, merci beaucoup, de rien. Thank you for another Motang Monday. Check your, oh, bless you. Hold on, check my, oh my gosh, Laura, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're getting there. We're building towards the computer setup that we need for the leveling up. Bless you. Thank you for that, guys. Appreciate it. I'm not doing the hard sale today, so you'll have to do it for me in the chat, I guess.
Again, firsthand, Hunter. He's been to hell.
Oh, he's smoking again. There it is. There's the smoking thing. There's a picture of him smoking from what? How old's this picture now? 8 years? 7 years.
Right? So how do we...
Yes, by the way, yes, good point. This is somebody in the chat just pointed out that Greg opened his this segment of his show with a twerking video.
We avoid that. Instead of just trying to score political points and defend your son from the MAGA Republicans, you know, on Joe's watch, they basically legalized marijuana.
We used to be able to throw kids in the clink for this shit, and they took it away. They basically legalized marijuana. Who's they? California?
Anybody can smoke this stuff, and
anybody can smoke this stuff. Yeah, including Sean Hannity. He uses a vape.
They are. America, you know, after COVID, we didn't have much of an edge, and now we're losing whatever edge we had.
Greg, look. You lost your time slot to Greta Van Susteren. We know this. The rest of us, though, are we're firing on all cylinders. We're working our ass off. A lot of us are moving. You know, I don't want to brag, but not only am I proud of the growth of my channel, I'm proud of Hunter Biden for overcoming his addiction. So, fuck you, whiny bastard.
Smoking that stuff, I see people...
They're smoking it, and they do the smoking with the people, then they're smoking it, they're beeping and flashing, they're flashing, I can't take it anymore.
During lunch breaks, the gummies all over the place. This is...
The gummies all over the place. Yeah, I hate that. Don't you hate when you're walking through an office, and you're like, squish, squish. All right, who put the edibles on the floor? And then didn't tell me. And I've been walking around with no shoes on, and I have very porous feet. I have very, I don't know what I'm upset about, man. I don't get it.
Ruining us.
Ruining us.
Mm-hmm. Ruining us, I do believe. I know there are libertarians out there, and medical marijuana, okay, maybe, but I have my...
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Kelly, starring in Reefer Madness.
Doubts, and... You know,
I have my doubts. From what I see on the bus, not good. I was like, people, everybody, and the worst, nobody invites me to those parties.
Trump was actually, like Biden, a teetotaler. Never drank, never smoked.
No, he just does amphetamines nonstop and benzos. Allegedly.
And I think the words that he had on this subject were far more helpful and far more honest than anything Biden has ever said.
I had a brother, Fred, great guy, best looking guy, best personality, but he had a problem. He had a problem with alcohol. And he would tell me, don't drink, don't drink. He was substantially older, and I listened to him and I respected, but he would constantly tell me, don't drink. He'd also add, don't smoke. but he would say it over and over and over again.
What a message from a...
And then he sniffs. Greg, did you notice at the end of that? That's because he blazes benzos, speed, and Adderall all the fucking time. Of course he's not going to drink. Alcohol's a depressant. That's why he doesn't do it. He's gacked up on amphetamines, you dickhead. So that's why I've steered clear of all mind-altering substances and hard narcotics. Well, I mean, within reason.
Big brother, huh? And back to Joe Biden for a moment. Remember, he was Mr. Empathy. He was Mr., nice guy. He was going...
Mr. Empathy, Mr. Nice Guy is going to go. He's got a bunch of people on here. These people have all just found out they have... They've got herpes, and he just every day he loves to go out to this podium and chastise them for how they got it and who they got it from, and
Moon River going to make everything nice again, gentle. No.
But I'm not joking when I say this. If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. On the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity.
With respect, damn it. Was that a little edgy on his part?
Jesus Christ. He's in the middle of doing something good, you dickhead. The last administration just shit on people. He had he let his people shit on other people. The fuck is wrong with you? What's this Mr. Nice Guy act? He's like telling people what does he say? Where's his leadership? And then he tells everybody how they're going to behave in his administration. What is he? Some kind of a leader or something?
I think it was. All right. Anyway, enough of him. Here.
Oh, good. Yeah. I've needed you, Greg. I've missed you. I'm not afraid to say it. It's been far too long since you've been this specific form of stupid. This is good. This is a sweet vintage of Greg Kelly misery. Just I hate everything. These weed smoking happy people. And meanwhile, here's a message from Trump telling us that his brother said don't drink a bunch of times and repeated it. And he didn't listen to him because he was older and he had respect for him, but because he kept saying it. That's where I learned the power of propaganda.
Here's the big lie of the moment. You hear it a million times a day, especially from the left. We need to have a conversation in this country about something, about guns.
Yeah, conversations. Why are we discussing things? What is this, a fucking democracy? Why are we talking to anyone that isn't already on board with what we're saying, and as a matter of fact, further down the road than we are? If you're Greg Kelly, you know the values of, hey guys, wait up.
Guns, about Me Too, but a conversation.
Guns and Me Too. Well, as a Tori Amos fan, I can think of a time when both of those issues came together.
We need to have a conversation about mental health, about crime.
What we need to do is have a conversation as a country.
So we need to have a different conversation in this country about guns.
Jesus Christ. This is from the... We're watching old primaries? What the fuck? But
also a different conversation about policing.
We need to be having a conversation right now about how traumatic it is to our communities.
He's like, it's traumatic. Black people. I'm Greg Kelly, and I'm not afraid to say it. This guy comes on. I don't know. I'm like, it doesn't even care that sometimes it's very traumatizing to see a black person when, like, out of the blue. Like, I'm about to fire my editor, except I can't. Jesus Christ.
Conversation. That means you say something, I say something.
Right. And then we come to an understanding. Conversations as opposed to an argument, or as opposed to monologuing. A conversation involves both parts. Greg doesn't know this. Greg's never had a conversation in his fucking life.
You say something, we disagree, we keep talking, no one's having a conversation, okay? Especially the left. They don't want to have a conversation. This is how
Then how did the fucking infrastructure bill pass? How the rescue package pass? How the Inflation Reduction Act pass? How does any of this shit happen? Of course they're having conversations that lead to shit.
left acts when they're around things they don't like.
That's right. They just want to talk about it. The thing is, if you see something you don't like, you don't talk about it. That's what we do in my family. That's why my father never talks about me. Okay.
You're not educated. This is propaganda. What are you going to do? Like anti-trans next? Is that what you're going to do next?
I mean, no, we're talking about abortion.
This is violent. You're triggering my students.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're not. Because you can't even have a baby. So you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what this is. Get this out of here,
Well, that's it. I don't know Democrats, what were we thinking? We shouldn't have done that. I apologize. I should not have lost my temper like that. I don't know what I was thinking that day. It was the end of a long day. I'd just been teaching like 7 classes, and I walk out, and here are these 2 college Republicans passing out pictures of aborted fetuses. And I was just, I don't know, maybe I'd had too much coffee. But thank God, I will say that never will the right be on the hook for a single viral video of one of their side doing something over the line. Because that's, because I'm trying to have a conversation.
Conversation with a leftist generally means from their side, shut the hell up, I'm speaking.
Says the guy doing a rhetorical show, editing clips of Biden to make it look like days pass without him mentioning, no days pass without him mentioning the Pope. Minutes can't pass without him.
All the time. The professor, by the way, lost her job. That's actually a good thing, all right? I hope.
Okay, there you go. You don't put your hands on people or people's stuff. That's how
she calms down. Fire.
I hope she calms. Do you really? Well, it's interesting that you brought that up, Greg, because I have an offer for you. You and Shalene Rodriguez are going to be starring in a new Newsmax version of Crossfire, where half the time she sits on your lap and half the time you sit on her lap. It's going to be fabulous. I think the ratings will be through the fucking roof, and I'm excited to watch it.
Over the incident, that is no way to act, but you see it all the time. Take a look.
No, you don't.
Look at this.
So they threw an event, and people who disagree with them showed up and did a protest and said, fuck these fascists. Legally, were they able to leave the premises alive? Did they have any problems getting in? Did they get paid if they were supposed to be? Yes, they did. Can they still say whatever they want? For the most part, sure. Can the students do a protest because they don't like how their tuition is being used to bring certain speakers to campus? Sure. Is it advisable? Depends on the situation, I suppose. But never mind. Please tell me this was Greg Kelly's one time speaking on a campus.
They're saying dirty word, the teacher is fascist.
Dirty word, the teacher is fascist. Dirty word, the teacher is... Dirty word, the teacher... You can say, I think it's just, what was the first dirty word? Wait, I think it was just F these fascists, right? Did we miss something else? Am I only getting the dance remix, Greg?
Because the teacher made them do homework. I mean, everybody's...
because the teacher made them do homework. That's why it was. That's what happened. That's how it went, Greg. Anytime the teacher gives them homework, that's why you go to school, really, is to avoid homework. Yeah.
Very, very sensitive.
They are very sensitive. It's a nature. I mean, that's the problem with teaching nihilism in a philosophy class, because you don't even know how to get an A. You don't even know if getting an A is actually an F. God damn it.
One other thing,
Really? There's another thing? This was going so well, Greg. You had such a cohesive concept in the first part of the video. Like, all of it seems to be gelling so much. I'd quit while I was ahead if I were you.
Field in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. There's nothing less sexually oriented than baseball, all right?
Yes. What's ever been used to analogize sexual things? Certainly not bats or balls. It's not at all like the way the home plate rests lovingly at the end of a V, as this doesn't look at all like spread legs and a mini skirt. Maybe it's just me. I'm a evil person. I'm a heathen. This is not what it's supposed. Hot dogs, quit it. Peanuts. I don't. Yes, you're right. Nothing ever. But the little short pants and the knee sock. Nothing. All right, quit it. There's nothing sexual about baseball. Yes. And ask anybody who's ever tried to walk with 4 balls. It's no mean feat.
I used to like baseball.
I used to like baseball, and then it got all gay and stuff.
Totally boring. Takes way too long. I know they.
It's totally boring. Takes way too long. Or maybe you're just an asshole and no one wants to go with you anymore. And the only games people will take you to are the really loud ones that have a lot going on. So there's no chance of a conversation breaking out.
Change the rules. It still stinks. The players get paid.
Yes, America's pastime, ladies and gentlemen. This is the right-wing attitude towards America's. All right. Fuck baseball, and then they went and made apple pie gay. All right.
Way too much. If you like it, fine. I want nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah, good. All right, everybody. Let's go to a baseball game, because the one good thing about it, doesn't matter who wins or if your team wins or loses or whether or not they have your favorite beverage, beer, or snack, doesn't matter. The one thing we can enjoy about America's pastime is that motherfucker won't be there. It's like a anti-Greg Kelly safe space now.
And even less since they have LGBTQ night at Dodger Stadium, at ballparks all over the place, right? The rainbow.
At Dodger Stadium, at ballparks all over the place. Yes, all of the Dodger stadiums, especially.
Flag, bring out the rainbow flag. There's nothing gay about baseball. There's nothing straight about baseball. There's plenty that's boring about baseball, okay? And they have trans night, and it's ridiculous. And guess what? The trans nuns were disinvited, and now they've been reinvited because, well, the trans nuns, they raised a big stink about being disinvited to gay night. Now, these are special trans nuns. These are the
Yes, the Sisters of Perpetual Mercy or whatever.
Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Indulgence, that's what it was.
Wow. I've heard of the Sisters of Mercy, but the Sisters of...
Yeah, that's they're playing on that. They're pushing back on the Catholic Church's anti-gay stances over the centuries. It's effectively performance art specifically aimed at that. So,
Perpetual and
I swear to God, I've never met Greg Kelly, but he must be this fucking high, because everything goes over his head.
What is it they do? Who
including my dick. Thank you.
Are these people? Well, this is them describing themselves.
Sounds like music to me, Greg. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Yep, still sounds like music. That's the Easter Bunny. I think that's Sean Spicer, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The fuck is Sean Spicer doing there? I'm kidding. We all know what he's doing there.
We are 21st century nuns.
I want to tell you a little bit about what it takes to become a sister. You start as an aspirant and you aspire for a couple of months.
We use the term ministry very loosely because my ministry is making someone laugh, putting a smile on somebody's face, and raising.
Oh my God. Not laughter, not smiles. Do you realize who you're talking to? That's Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet. You can't threaten him with laughter and smiles. You're supposed to take yourself far too seriously, Sister Barbie Mitzvah. And understand, you have to walk very carefully. You are on the eggshells. You are stomping around on the eggshells of Greg Kelly's self-worth.
Raising money for groups that cannot.
Raising money for groups that cannot. Cut.
All right, so it looks pretty much like a perverted scam. These are
okay, looks pretty much like a perverted scam. I guess that's a necessary adjective, you know, as opposed to non-perverted scams. I guess as opposed to normal Catholic scams where they might be ripping off people in the name of fake Catholicism or something. What evidence do you have, you dumb son of a bitch, that they're not raising money and actually giving it to causes? What the fuck is wrong with you?
not nuns, and it's all.
Yeah, we know. They're not real. We know they're not real nuns, stupid. It's an allegory for speaking outrage to, like, spread love and awareness that even people that are different from you can be valuable members of your. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why am I? There's no way I'm talking this dickhead down.
Mess. So they were, I guess they didn't get their invitation. They totally freaked out. And now the Dodgers, the baseball team, completely, abjectly apologizing. So they're going to LGBTQ night. Let's put the statement up on the.
Cool. Yeah, well, you know what? You know why they were so upset? I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if maybe you haven't been following the story, but the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence didn't get an invite to the thing, and they were very upset that they were disinvited or didn't get invited in the first place. Very, very upset because they found out it's the one place you can be sure you will not run into Greg Kelly. And so they really wanted, I mean, they're almost at every game now.
Screen, please. It's quite the statement, okay? Let's see here. After much thoughtful feedback from our diverse communities, honest conversations with the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, and generous discussions with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. How did those go over, huh? The Los Angeles...
Apparently very well, because they're going to the actual game. You fucking moron.
Angeles Dodgers would like to offer our sincerest apologies to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, members of the LGBT, community, and their friends and families. Wow. Anybody else? We have asked the Sisters of Perpetual, they keep using the same ridiculous name, to take.
Because it's specific. It was specifically about these specific people, stupid. They didn't disinvite one of the letters. I'm just saying, it's nice to have a holiday moment where, we get to enjoy. It's like a Whitman sampler of stupid from Greg. This is like all the things he's dumb about in one clip.
Their place on the field at our 10th annual LGBTQ plus Pride Night. Have they talked to Steve Garvey about this stuff? We are pleased to share.
Why? Is he anti-gay all of a sudden? Would he hate it? Oh, no. Baseball's supposed to exclude strangers and the fuck out of here.
That they have agreed to receive the gratitude of our collective. This is disgusting. All right, baseball.
For the life-saving work they have done tirelessly for decades. For the life-saving work that they have done tirelessly for decades. You're not going to read it. I'll fucking read it. Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, I would like to thank you, personally, House Sparks, formerly of Queer as Folk, for the life-saving work that you have done tirelessly for decades. I know Greg doesn't want to read that because it creeps him out, but hi, how are you? And thank you. on behalf of me and the vast majority of my chat.
All is supposed to be boring and bland and not about LGBTQ, not about
Yeah, it's supposed to be exactly like the Greg Kelly show.
straight, it's not about orientation or sex. This isn't saying, hey, what would Tommy Lasorda say about all this stuff?
I don't care. You know why? Because Fletch hated Tommy Lasorda.
Moon River.
Trump knew everyone. What?
Huh? Can you believe the same team that Tommy Lasorda managed is now engaging in this nonsense because
He didn't have anything to do with the owners are charged. The fucking coach doesn't have anything to do with what promotional nights they have, you dipshit.
They have to. Oh, by the way, Tommy Lasorda is mentioned in Donald Trump's new book, Letters to...
Hey, look at that. He knows Tommy Lasorda. Yeah, hey, you know who he didn't mention? Wait, let's see if I can find this. I gotta hold on one second. Let me look this up real quick if I can. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah. I wonder if Tommy Lasorda ever introduced him to that, like, you know, if he ever introduced him to that guy. So, and this is a older picture too, where you know, Trump was still just like Don Jr. He was in his Don Jr. phase, whereas he was just sort of semi-running his dad's company, pretending to be rich and knowing what the fuck he was doing. And then after, he it's like he dumped Tommy Lasorda to hang out with this dude. That's weird. Oh my God. And I gotta say, like, Tommy Lasorda looks like he's like taking the picture under duress, like he was in the middle of something and Trump came up and said, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Where I look, huh?" And then he took the picture. And but this one, it looked like they got a couple of good ones. They were in there for a little bit, you know. Just saying, you know. Was there a letter from him in the book? I haven't read it. I mean, I presume there is, you know. I'm sure it's got probably, you know, it probably isn't in there. It probably got folded and it's stuck together. Sorry, I just threw up into my own mouth.
From Trump, or letters to Trump. Great guy. They were great friends. And, you know, this is a very insane moment, but we started the block with a small, lame label on the side of the cigarette box, which
apparently Greg wants to announce that tonight they are putting a similar warning on his show. Do not operate heavy machinery, may cause drowsiness and fits of giggling.
Never really dissuaded anybody. People were smoking I mean, look at this stuff, right? This used to be America. You could smoke.
Right. Before the labels. All right, dumb shit. Listen. Yes. Show us the label, and then show us what before the label, and then explain to us how the time after the label is different than this. Hey, asshole, you get the... It worked. It's partly why, you dumb son of a bitch. This is yes, we know what it was like before the fucking labeling. All right.
Wherever the hell you wanted to. We're encouraged to do so on planes, trains,
Right. And then the government stepped in because it was killing American citizens, and regulations saved millions of lives.
Elevators, just go ahead and smoke. And as insane as that was, we stopped. Somehow we figured it out. And
somehow it's I don't know, if only someone had come up with the idea of labeling that shit with the diseases it causes earlier.
And if we just stopped doing it, maybe the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence will just kind of go their own ways at some point.
Oh, I see. If we stop if the idea is that the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, who've been around for decades, only exist because Biden basically legalized weed, and we're all a bunch of fucking hippies that pray at the altar of comedy nuns. Holy shit.
And do more productive things, more healthy things.
Like what, Greg? Tell us. Guide us all. Start your own self-help program. Lead us down the path, Greg Kelly. Nope, nothing. We should all do more productive things, like cut to commercial. I don't know. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. It's a special Memorial Day edition. I just felt like jumping in here because I missed you guys.